Michael Jackson! The king of pop. Who doesn't know Michael Jackson? One of the most famous musicians of the world. His life was very unusual and complicated. That's why we chose him as the subject for our presentation. We'll tell you something about the following things. Michael, the start of his career, going solo, hits, his family, his changes, child sexual abuse, personal style.
Michael Joseph Jackson was born on the 19th August of 1958. He was born in Gary, Indiana, in the USA. He was an American recording artist, entertainer and businessman, the seventh child of the Jackson family. He made his debut on the professional music scene at the age of 11 as a member of the Jackson 5 in 1969 and later began a solo career in 1971 while still a member of the group.
The start of his career. The father made him sing because he thought that they could raise money for him. From a young age, Jackson claims he was physically and emotionally abused by his father, but his father's discipline played a large part in his success. He and his brothers were in a pop band called the Jackson 5. These brothers are called Jackie, Tito, Jermaine and Marlon. They scored a lot of hits like I Want You Back, ABC, Love You Safe and I'll Be There. He was only 5 years old when he started singing with the Jackson 5. When he was 11 he became a real star. Outside he was the youngest, had a very important place in the band. He sang and danced while the others were playing instruments. He had started his career. After the Jackson 5 he started a solo career.
Going solo. Like we said before, Michael started his solo career in 1971, but he was still a member of the group too. Having barely turned 13, Jackson released a successful string of solo singles that included Got to Be There, Rockin' Robin and Ben. In 1977, Michael made his first film debut when he appeared in the film version of The Wiz. It was at this time Michael met Quincy Jones, who was doing the score for the film. Michael worked with Quincy Jones as his producer for his first solo album. The album titled Off the Wall was a big success all around the world. With this album he broke a record with 4 #1 singles in the United States.
Hits. Michael has made many #1 hits all over the world. In the United States he had 30 #1s. He broke many records with his success. The album Thriller remained a #1 on the Billboard 200 album chart for 37 weeks, and for more than a year and a half this song was in the top 10 of the Billboard 200. It was the first of only 3 albums that were in the top 10 for more than a year. Worldwide, its total sales has been estimated at 55 million copies by the Guinness Book of World Records and at 110 million by Jackson's management. Thriller is the best-sold album in the history of music. His first solo #1 hit was Ben in 1972. It stood at #1 for 1 week. The second was Don't Stop Till You Get Enough in 1979. After that, in 1980, Rock With You was the number for 4 weeks. 1983 was a good year for Michael. He had 3 long-lasting #1 hits, Billie Jean, Beat It and Say Say Say. 1987 was a good year too. First he had 2 #1 hits, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. This one he sang together with Siedah Garrett. In the same year he managed to have 2 #1 hits, Bad and The Way You Make Me Feel. 1 year after the big success he was still successful with the singles Man in the Mirror and Dirty Diana. In 1991 he had only 1 #1 hit, but it was a very good one. It lasted for 7 weeks. His last big success in the US was in 1995 with You're Not Alone.
His family. Michael Jackson had 5 brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon and Randy. Marlon had a twin, but he was stillborn. His name was Brandon. Like we've told before, they had a band called the Jackson 5. Their parents are called Catherine and Joseph Jackson. Their father played a very important part in Michael's life. It was a horrible man. He abused Michael and his brothers when they were children. He hit them with a belt, pushed them into walls, held them upside down by only one leg and hit them on their back and buttocks. One night, while Michael was asleep, Joseph climbed into the room through the bedroom window, wearing a fright mask and screaming. He said he wanted to teach the children not to leave the window open when they went to sleep. 4 years afterward, Jackson said he suffered nightmares about being kidnapped from his bedroom. Michael must have had a horrible childhood. But then he grew up. He became a famous pop star and got married for the first time. In May 1994, he married Liza Mary Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley. They married in secrecy, denying it for nearly 2 months afterwards. Michael and Liza divorced less than 2 years later. His second marriage was with a nurse called Deborah Jane Rowe on November 14th in 1996. She gave birth to the first 2 children, a son called Michael Joseph Jr. and a daughter, Paris Michael Catherine. Michael and Deborah got divorced in 1999. Jackson's third child, Prince Michael Jackson II, was born in 2002. The mother is not known.
His changes. Michael changed a lot since the beginning of his career. He was obsessed with plastic surgery, so he was never happy with his appearance. This is also called body dysmorphia. The people who have this don't really have a goal. They just say, I don't like this or I don't like that. They can't say what they don't like about it. Michael changed his nose, his eyebrows, lips, and he had facelifts. He says he changed his nose because his father always bullied him with his big nose. After each operation, he looked more unnatural. Michael himself says that he had only 2 operations, but almost nobody believes him. Specialists say he had almost 30 operations. He looked more and more like a woman. Also, his skin lightened. In the black community, people say that Michael had whitened his skin to discover his ethnic background. In a show from Oprah Winfrey, he says he had vitiligo. By this disease, the pigment disappears, so his skin becomes white.
Child sexual abuse. Michael sometimes slept with children in the same bed on his ranch Neverland. Michael was his ranch with a zoo and an amusement park for children. Sometimes Michael invited children to come over. In 1993, Michael is claimed by sexual abuse of a 13-year-old boy, but he paid an undisclosed of money to close this case. In September 1994, 2 other boys also claimed they were abused by Michael Jackson, but neither would testify against him. The case file is left open for the next 6 years. In 2003, Michael is again arrested for having sex with a child under 14. Michael says it's a big lie and that he didn't do anything, but he was claimed for guilty, and 2 years later he was cleared from all the charges.
Personal style. Michael Jackson was not only the king of pop, but also the king of fashion. He had a unique style. At the beginning, he was wearing fringe shirts, platform heels, and wide bell-bottom pants, which had the top of his look. Later, he added some things to this, like tuxedo jackets, thick white socks, and black shiny loafers, aviator sunglasses, military jackets, high pants with white glittering socks, and a glittering glove. There was a lot of black and white in his clothes, and a lot of glitter. He also wore female clothes. In his Beat It music video, he was wearing a red leather jacket. Every man would have this jacket in that time. Also now the jacket is very famous. He inspired a lot of clothes designers and other musicians with his style.